taking this matter to court. I hear this all the time, said with confidence, sometimes said with frustration, and sometimes with anger, and often with the belief that court is where the problems get solved. But let me ask you a serious question. Is going to court actually the best option? Or is it sometimes the move that makes everything worse? Most people think that court is where you go to win. But family court is not designed to winning. It is designed to resolve dispute based on the welfare of the child. And the distinction changes. This distinction changes everything. Hello, I'm Dr. Chris Aniche, a dual qualified solicitor, a specialist in children and family court. And I operate in the courtroom where these decisions are made daily. So, this is not a theory. This is what actually happens when cases enters into the system, when court is necessary. Let's start with the clarity. There are situations where going to court is absolutely necessary. For example, where there are safeguarding concerns, where a child is at risk of harm, where one parent is refusing all contact, where urgent decisions are required. In those situations, court provides protection, structure, authority, and sometimes immediate intervention. So let's be clear. Court has a critical role. The reality of litigation. Now, let's start with that. But here is the part most people don't fully appreciate. Going to court comes with consequences. It is time consuming, emotionally draining, financially costly, and often very slow. You may wait for months for hearings. Decision may take time, and during that period, the conflict will escalate. Because once party enters into litigation, position hardens, communications break down, and the focus shifts from resolution to argument, and the impact on this on the children. Now, this is not just litigations affect children because children they feel it, they absorb it, they live in tension between both parents, and prolonged conflict can have a lasting emotional impact. So the question becomes not just can I go to court, but what will this process do to my child? Talking about the illusion of control, another misconception is that going to court gives you control. It doesn't. Once you are in court, the judges makes the decision, not you. You present your case, you argue your position, but ultimately the outcome is taken out of your hands. So if your expectation is, I will control the outcome through courts, that expectation is flawed. Let me give you a typical scenario. Two parents cannot agree on arrangements. Communications break down. One says, I'm going to court. The proceedings begin. Months pass. Statements are filed. Hearing take place. Tension increase and costs rise. And at the end, the court makes an order that maybe neither of the parties entirely happy with. Now compare that to a situation where same parents they engage in a structured discussion or a mediation and reach a workable agreement earlier. Less conflict, less delay, less emotional damage. Same issue, different outcome. I'll talk about alternative to court. This is where in England and Wales, before issuing many family applications, you are expected to attend MIAM called Mediation Information and Assessment Meeting. This is not just a formality, it is an opportunity to resolve matters without litigation. Other options could include mediation, negotiation through solicitors, and collaborative law. This should allow for flexibility, control, and often quicker resolution. Strategic decision making. So the real question is not, should I go to court? The real question is the court the right strategy for this situation? Because sometimes it is necessary, and sometimes it is avoidable. And the ability to distinguish between the two is what separates reactive decision from strategic ones. If you're considering court, ask yourself, is there a genuine risk that requires intervention? Have all reasonable alternatives been explored? What will this process mean for my child? Am I prepared for the time and emotional cost? And most importantly, seek proper legal advice before making that decision. You need to understand this clearly. Court is a tool, not a solution. Used correctly, it can protect. Used unnecessarily, it can escalate. Many people go to court not because it is necessary, but because they are frustrated, angry, or feel unheard. And while those feelings are real, court is not designed to resolve emotions. It is designed to make decisions. So, is going to court always the best option? No, I say. Sometimes it's essential, but often it is the most difficult part with the highest cost. The real strength is not in rushing to court. It is knowing when to use it and when to resolve matters between both before it gets there. Because in family law, the goal is not to win a battle. It is to protect a future, especially for the child, if especially for your child. If you find this video helpful, please subscribe for more family law nuggets where I break down not just the law, but the strategies behind them. Thank you. Ciao.